let's get started. So today actually we are talking about different revision techniques, right? How to encourage our students to remember the information they learned in English classes. And you know, before we start actually talking about revision techniques, let's talk a little bit about our memory and the ways our brains keep all the information. And I would like to start our webinar with a short quiz. So I'm going to ask you 3 simple questions. And I want you to type in your answers into the chat box. So, are you ready? I think yes. Okay, so if everybody is ready, let's get started. So, question number 1 is, there is a limited amount of information we can remember. So, do you think this statement is true or false? Okay, many people are writing that it's true. We have that limited capacity of information we can remember. Some of you believe that it's false. Okay, well, so I see that the answers vary. Okay, different people have different points of view here. No comments? Well, actually, this statement is false. Yeah, you can be surprised, actually. And I was surprised when I found out this fact as well. But according to modern researchers, it is proved that our brains can remember unlimited quantity of information. But there are 2 facts which are important. First of all, if you want to remember the information for a long time, you should make an effort to understand it. And secondly, if you want to remember the information forever, let's say so, you have to encounter it again and again. So the more often you are exposed to something you want to remember, the higher the chances are to remember this information forever. So remember, our brain has unlimited information capacity. Well, thank you very much for your answers. We are moving forward. And the next statement is, you remember better when revision is spaced out. What do I mean saying spaced out? I mean that, for example, you learn the words today, then you revise them, let's say, in half an hour, then you revise them in a day, in 7 days, in 14 days, in 35 days, So you revise it again and again in a certain period of time. So true or false? Almost all of you are writing true, and you're absolutely right. We know that for sure, that to remember something, we should revise it again and again. And that is why when we learn, for example, vocabulary with our students, we practice it during the lesson. Then they do the home task when they see the same words once again. Then, for example, at the end of the unit, we have a revision lesson, when we revise the vocab again. Then we have progress test and end of the year test. And actually, these are these points of spaced out repetition. Well, I'm really happy you are so sure about it, so you know what spaced out repetition is, and I'm sure you use it. Okay, and the last question. How many times do you need to see the word before you remember it? I've got 3 possible answers. So you should see it 3 times, 7 times, or maybe 12 times. Any ideas? I see 7, 3, 42. Actually, sometimes it makes sense to see it 42 times, I agree. Well, but anyway, I see that majority of you believe that, we should see the word 7 times, and you're absolutely right. Of course, it doesn't mean that you should actually see the word 7 times. it means you should be exposed to that vocab or grammar at least 7 times. So when we speak about new lexes we learn with our students, it means that this vocab should be used in listening. Our students should come across the words while doing some reading tasks, right? Preparing their projects, maybe doing some writing activities. So at least, they should come across the word 7 times. Well, so that was our short quiz, and you've done it pretty well. Great jobs. And we are moving forward. So revise and never forgotten. It's a very, very, I know, hot issue for all the teachers because it usually happens. So Unit 3. Topic is animals, right? We spent hours learning different types of animals, the areas where they live, the names of their kids and stuff like that. And they seem to know the vocab, right? But as soon as we move to Unit 4 and start talking about transport, vehicles, directions and stuff like that, we see that actually animals are forgotten. And we ask them a simple word related to the previous topic, and they say, oops, we can't remember it. Very, very typical situation. I'm sure that you face it pretty often. So what to do? How to revise the vocab and grammar wisely to make sure they remember lexes and they remember the grammar structures. So today we are going to have a look at 4 nice strategies which can be used to recycle what has been taught by us, the teachers, and what has been learned by our students. So are you ready? Well, yeah, okay. So let's imagine the situation. So we will start with a case study, and I'm sure many of you will see that the situation is pretty similar to them. So case study. Hopefully, let's put our fingers crossed, we get back to school on the 1st of September. Actually, in a week. Yeah, so we get back to school, we are supposed to work offline, we are really excited about it. It's our first lesson, right? Okay, first lesson can be pretty fun. We can use some activities to engage our students, to motivate our students to talk about their summer. But then lesson number 2 comes. And we understand that, okay, so it's time to start learning. It's my students, Form 7A, right? So they finished grade 6. Yeah, they worked 3 months individually. Now they are 7 formers. And this is my book I'm going to use. Wider World, a marvelous resource to be used in lower secondary sector. By the way, do we have many Wider World users here? Put a cross if you use Wider World. Oh yeah, I see many pluses. I use. That's great. Okay, Nina is going to use it. Great choice, Nina. Yeah, so as far as I see, many of you actually know what it is. Yeah, so that is the book I'm going to use with my 7 formers. But I understand that actually it doesn't make sense to just to come to the class and to say, okay, students, open your books and let's start with Unit 1, Topic 1. Because I understand that, well, there were 3 months of quarantine plus 3 months of summer holidays, and I'm more than sure that they have forgotten tons of information. So what do? I take the book which they used the previous year. It's Wider World 2. Then I open the content pages and I pay special attention to units 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Why? Because my students were working online in spring, and actually this is the information they were supposed to cover on their own. And I understand as a teacher, that it makes sense, to revise this information before we start working with a new level of wider world. So let's have a look at the topics which are covered here. We have my home, my town, where the students are supposed to describe some places in the town where they live. We have the unit with the title Take Care, where they are supposed to talk about health, illnesses, injuries. Shopping around, it's all about shops and going shopping, learning to work with jobs requirements and stuff like that, and close to the nature. So these are the topics I'm going to focus on. Well, so I decided to start with vocabulary revision, to see how many words they can remember. And the best activity I would like to show you today is called vocabulary connections. So at the beginning of the lesson, I write some words, the words I would like my students to revise on the board. So what do you think the topic of the vocabulary is? What's the topic? Sink, wash basin, carpet, rug, house. Right, Tatiana, thank you. Flat, house, you're absolutely right. So these are different things in the house. Of course, I could easily come into the classroom and elicit these words from my students, like asking, okay, what is English for umywalnik? What is English for korek? But it's the easiest way, and not always it works, and not always it shows that students know the words and they know how to use them meaningfully. That is why I've got something different. So I write the vocab on the board, and then I ask students to find the connections between two words, which means that they can choose any two words they want, and they should make up a sentence, using these words and showing the connections between them. For example, I have chosen sink and rug. What can I say to demonstrate how to do the activity? I can say that we usually put a rug near the sink to make sure our feet are warm when we brush our teeth. Then it makes sense to give our students a minute or two to think a little bit, to choose two words they can connect somehow. So let's do it with you. Think for a while and write in the chat box the connection between a cooker and a mirror. Your ideas. Yes, Tatiana, thank you very much. This activity can be done in pairs or not. It can be done open class. It can be done in pairs. There is no mirror by the cooker. Thank you very much, Nina. Nice example. We usually don't put a mirror near the cooker. Right. I saw my cooker in the mirror. Yeah, okay. If you have a mirror in the kitchen, you can see a cooker reflection in the mirror. There is a cooker near the mirror. I use the same cleaning chemical to clean cooker and mirror. Perfect. Thank you, Olga. I put a mirror over the cooker to see how pretty I am. Oh, it's a very nice suggestion for any kind of housewives or women who spend a lot of time cooking. So you cook and look at yourself, enjoying your reflection. Very nice. Wow, I love your ideas. If you stay by the cooker too often, better not to look at the mirror. Yeah, unfortunately, it's our reality. My cooker is as clean as a mirror. Perfect. So thank you so much for so nice examples. Students have very good imagination. And while doing this activity, be ready. Be ready for really great examples. Again, why to limit ourselves using only one topic? Well, we can connect, we can add some other vocab from other topics. For example, here I decided to mix up things in the house and shopping. So again, you ask the students to find the connections between random words. Yeah, preferably the two words should belong to two different categories, right? For example, as an example, I have chosen bakery and rock. Yeah, and my idea is don't put a rock in a bakery because it will get dirty very, very quickly. Okay, and now again, it's your turn. Can you find any connections between a sofa and a new sentence? So I'm waiting for your ideas. Reading, yeah. What about a sentence? Yeah, you can say if there was a sofa in the new sentence, I could read something. Use our rack before entering to our bakery. Yeah, thank you. For example, with the rack and bakery, there is a comfortable sofa in our new sentence. Not bad. I take a trolley to the bakery. Trolley. Not bad. There is a nice sofa in the new sentence, right? So again, here the sky is the limit for the imagination of your students. So be ready for lots and lots of creative ideas. It's a great idea to have a sofa in the new sessions. Yeah, I agree with you, Natalia. It would be nice to sit on the sofa at the new sessions. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of nice examples. Thank you very much for being so active. Let's move on. So that was our first activity, which is great for vocab revision. It's called vocabulary connection. Why do I love it? First of all, it's a fun way, yeah, to revise the vocab. And actually, you can revise not only one vocabulary topic, you can revise two or even more vocabulary topics simultaneously. And of course, well, this activity boosts our students' creative thinking. Because look, it's not just like a simple task to make up a sentence with the word. Because anyone can say, there is a sofa in my room, or there is a new sentence not far from my house. But the idea is to find that connection and to make up an original sentence, yeah, to connect two words. So it's all about creative thinking. Okay, thank you very much. I see a lot of positive feedback in the chat box. I see that you love the activity. That's great. So we are moving forward. One more strategy, which I love doing for revision, is called board game revision. Pretty often it happens so that when the students hear the word revision, they associate it with something boring. Yeah, okay. Usually it's revision before the test, yeah, or I don't know, progress test, end of year test, and they know for sure that, oh no, again, it's exercises, doing the exercises, checking the exercises, nothing special. But we can actually organize a kind of a board game to revise both grammar and vocab. A lot of grammar and a lot of. And now I will show you how you do it. It's pretty simple. So, again, I take the book. The one which I used last year, Wider World 2. I open the content pages, as always, yeah, to have a look at grammar topics and vocabulary topics, which I would like to, to revise with my pupils. So, again, I focus on units 5 to 9, the one they while staying at home in spring. It's very important for me. Of course, if you wish, you can add the materials from the previous units as well. So, as always, I start with grammar, yeah, and I analyze which grammar topics were covered. So I see that here we have past simple and past continuous, not bad, two past tenses. We have going to present continuous to speak about future plans and intentions, okay? And of course, present perfect, past conditionals, modals. Wow, a lot of grammar to be revised. Okay, let's have a look at vocabulary and what we've got here. Things in the house, health, shopping, jobs, natural features and countries. So I understand that whether I like it or not, all these topics have to be revised. What do? I prepare a board game. Actually, you can download the template for the board game online. There are lots of templates you can find on the internet. I personally did it on my own. You can actually draw it. You can do it with the help of a paint program, up to you. So I've decided to have 20 grids in our games and of course start and finish points. Then what do I do next? I look and remember actually the topics which I start to be covered. Yeah, and I start adding the tasks like that. Name 5 rooms in your house. What's the topic? Houses, places in the house. At grid 18, describe the symptoms of flu. Yeah, so it's about our health and flu. Name 8 outdoor activities. Yeah, so I add different questions regarding the vocab which should be revised. Then I start adding grammar. For example, what will you do in 5 years? Yeah, so it's the use of future simple to speak about future predictions. Or maybe look at number 5, make 4 sentences about your news and recent activity. It's to practice present perfect. Or describe an accident you had when you were younger. A very nice situation, yeah, to practice narrative tenses, past simple, past continuous. So I fill in all the grids with different vocabulary and grammar tasks. And you know, if you think that it might take ages to do that, you are wrong, because actually these are not the tasks I've created on my own. I just opened the book and had a look at final tasks at every lesson, because in wider world, yeah, every lesson ends up with some production, yeah, where students are supposed to talk using either new grammar or new vocab. That is why I simply actually use the ideas in the book. So when your board game is ready, yeah, you can copy it to make sure you have enough copies for your class. Then the students are divided into pairs, and each pair gets a small dice, right, and 2 counters they are going to use, yeah, to count the grids. Okay, then you ask them to work in pairs, to throw the dice, yeah, and to answer the questions they've got. So, for example, student 1 throws the dice and he or she has got number 3. What will you do if it rains at the weekend? Yeah, so nice question to answer, to speak about your plans and to use past conditional. So what about you, my dear participants? What will you do if it rains at the weekend? Oh, you know, I will be really upset because I have great plans for this weekend. What about you? I will watch a movie. I will read. Again, you know, when you do this activity with your students, encourage them to use the whole sentence, yeah, to make sure they use present simple in if clause and future simple in the main clause. I'll sleep all day long. Great plan, Olga. I will spend time with my family. Vita has written, thank you, nice idea. I will read, I will stay at home. Okay, so you have great plans. Or maybe I will spend time with my friends. I'll Netflix and chill. Perfect play. Play computer games, really. Okay, so as far as I see, many of you have nice plans for the weekend, even if it rains. Okay, then the turn goes to another student, and he or she does the same, yeah. And here we have a vocabulary grid. Name 5 rooms in your house. Again, a very nice question. Yeah, well, so you name 5 different places like bathroom, kitchen, whatever. So they keep playing until they reach the finish. Of course, what about you as a teacher? Yeah, your task, your role is to monitor, to help, to make sure they are doing the task, they speak English, and they don't skip the grades. Well, so that was our board game revision. Actually, very nice revision, but in a slightly original way. So, why is it good? So it's a revision in an interactive way, because not only do they write the answers, right? They talk, they communicate. I'm sure they will have a lot of fun throwing the dice, answering the questions, maybe even helping each other with the answers. Yeah, and of course, it's increased STT. By the way, who knows what STT stands for? Could you type in the chat box? So what is STT? Exactly. We always talk about teachers talking time. Yeah, TTT, like come on, be very careful with TTT. And here, yeah, it's students talking time. Well, actually, it's true. When they play the game, they keep talking a lot. And of course, the more they talk, the happier we feel, right? Because our main aim is to encourage them to talk as much as possible. So that was our second activity, which can be done for revision. And we are moving forward. Number 3. What have we got here? End of the year test revisited. End of the year test. Yeah, we usually write it when we finish the book, and we never, almost never get back to it. Because actually we, the teachers, think that, okay, they might remember the correct answers, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, believe me, they won't remember the correct answers. That is end of the year test, once again, to have some revision. But so here we have end of the year test from Wider World level 2 for group A. So I have a look at the tasks here, trying to assume what I can do with them. So the first task is use of English. Okay, perfect activity, pretty necessary task, right? Because they are going to have the same while passing their Zeni on. So use of English is essential. Yeah, but I understand that here we have the text and they have to complete the gaps, choosing the correct answer, A, B, or C. Actually, it's a very nice heads-down activity, right? So I will give my students some time to complete the gaps with the correct options, then to check, to compare their answers with their partners, yeah, and then check open class. Yeah, thank you, Irina. Yeah, it's pretty easy to check because you can either ask them to read the sentences open class, or you can write the correct answers on the board and they will check it, right? So nice heads down activity, and be sure they don't remember the tasks. Even if they wrote it in May, I'm more than sure that they won't remember it in September. But then I have a look at the second task. So write the correct word next to each definition. So I see the definitions, I see the first letter of the word, and I start thinking, okay, what can I do with this activity? How to do it in an interesting way, not just sitting and writing. So what do? I understand that this activity can be done heads up. What do I mean? So they can, stand up, walk around, right? They can look around, while doing this activity. And we remember that it's very important to keep the balance between heads down and heads up activities in the classroom to make sure they are not bored till the end of the class. So I cut the task into stripes, right? And as a result, I've got 5 stripes with the tasks. Of course, there can be more than 5. Yeah, I can use not on one task, I can use 2 tasks, if possible, to divide them into separate stripes of papers. And I put these stripes with the tasks all around the classroom, right? And then I say, okay, students, now we are going to do one more activity with you. The tasks are all around the classroom. Stand up, walk around, right? And take a piece of paper, take your copybook, and for every task, be it 1 or 5, write the number of the task and your word. So you walk, you read the definition, and put down your word, which you believe, matches that definition. When you are ready, get back to your desks, compare your answers with your partners. If you have different ideas, decide who is right and who is wrong. If necessary, go there once again and double check it together with your partner. Again, here you have one more option. Not only can they walk around the classroom individually, writing down the correct answers, they can also work in pairs and to have a kind of learning dictation, right? One of the students is sitting at the desk, another one is running to the task, trying to remember what's written there. He or she is going back, he or she is dictating, the definition, and then they write the word all together. So here there are different options to choose from. So it's up to you what to choose and how to do this activity. Well, so that was our end of year test revisited. Don't be afraid to use it. Be sure they can't remember all the correct answers. Why is it good? First of all, you reuse tests in an interactive way and you save a lot of your personal time, because you understand that grammar has to be revised somehow. And I'm sure that many of us do what? We start searching the internet to find some tasks to practice present simple, to practice present perfect, whatever, right? And we actually waste a lot of our time. Why not to take the test? Not only end of year test, it can be progress test, it can be end of the unit test. Use these tests again. They are in the teacher's books resources, and you don't need to spend lots of time finding something which matches the grammar, the vocab you've learned. It's already there for you. So reuse it wisely. And of course, I love this certain think, pair, share, while doing the activity like that, when they have a chance to walk, to write the answers, to compare, it helps them to to feel confident in their answers. Yeah, they are not doing the tasks on the go. They have time to think about the answer. Yeah, well, to compare it with their desk mate, and only after that, yeah, they feel confident. Yeah, and they are ready to share their ideas open class. So that was activity number 3. Yeah, end of the year test revisited. So now, when the webinar is over, find some tests and use it in September. And we are moving to the final activity, which I've chosen for us to have a look at. And it is called What a Photo. I personally believe that to revise grammar and vocab, it's not always necessary to do exercises. Of course, it's the best way, it's the easiest way, yeah, to have some activities offered by the authors of the book, right? Matching, gap filling, use of English and stuff like this. But sometimes a photo can be a nice tool to revise a lot, and not only grammar, but vocabulary as well. So, step number 1 is bring a personal photo to the classroom. This is the one I have chosen. Make sure the photo is thought-provoking. Yeah, it shows something. Actually, this photo shows the seminar I was doing exactly a year ago. It was in Odessa, in the Black Sea Hotel. There were lots of participants, and I loved it. By the way, do we have anyone here who attended it? Okay, Olena Sereda, you remember it? That's great. Anybody else from Odessa region who attended that seminar? That was great. I agree with you, Natalia. No. I attended. Valentina Kardash. That's great. Yeah. It was an amazing seminar. I've got a lot of sweet memories regarding the seminar. So you bring a personal photo to the classroom and you say, okay, students, this is my summer. Yeah, this is one of the highlights of my summer. And my question to you is, what am I doing in the photo? So you give your students a few seconds, maybe a minute, to think what the teacher is doing. And then you ask them, to tell you what they believe you are doing. So what do you think I am doing in this photo? Any ideas? Clapping hands. Yeah, right you are. It was a pretty long seminar, and there were 2 parts of the seminar, and I decided to have a small, to do some exercise with the participants, to make sure they don't feel bored. So we had a kind of workout. And I was clapping my hands, asking them to do the same. So the first question is, what am I doing in the photo? So your students answer the question, yes, and you motivate them to use present continuous. So not only are they answering, they are also using and actually revising present continuous. Then you say, okay, I've got one more question to you. What do you think will happen next? And here they start making predictions, about further events. And again, they use future simple, using will plus a verb. Again, take some time, make sure you've listened to everybody. And here is the final question to the photo. What do you think happened before the photo was taken? And again, they start making their guesses, right? And they start using past simple. And again, I've got the question to you. Looking at all that mess, I mean, these pieces of paper, okay, soft dice, and all that stuff on the floor. What do you think happened before the photo was taken? Shooting. Yeah. Thank you, Natalia. Yeah, Natalia Mukomela, you're absolutely right. We were doing one of the activities from Fly High. It was playing snowballs. Oh, it was a lot of fun. Again, look, here the questions may vary. I mean that you can ask the questions using more complicated structures. Yeah, you can ask the questions using modal verbs of probability. For example, what do you think might have happened before the photo was taken? What do you think is going to happen after that moment? Yeah, so here everything depends on the level of your students and on the grammar you want to revise, but these three are like key questions to be asked. When the task is done open class with the teacher's photo, you can ask the students to do the same, working in pairs. So they can use their mobile phones. Of course, it's up to you to decide whether to let them use them or not. So they can use their mobile phones. Yeah, they can choose one picture they love the most. Yeah, and then they start working in pairs. Yeah, and they answer these three questions. What am I doing in the photo? What do you think will happen next? What do you think happened before the photo was taken? Yeah, the pictures can be very, very different. Yeah, this one is very typical for girls. The previous one was typical for boys, whatever. But anyway, it's a nice chance to talk, right? To revise three grammar tenses, at least three. Yeah, and to revise vocabulary, which relates to different types of activities, summer rest, leisure activities, and stuff like that. Actually, you never know what photo they are going to use and what vocabulary they might need, right, to describe that photo. That is why, yeah, it's just one photo, yeah, can provoke a very nice discussion, and it will give your students a chance to revise grammar and vocab at the same time. So that was our fourth activity called What a Photo. Yeah, what is good about it? Yeah, you use visuals. So we know that modern generation of students, they are visual learners. Not all of them, but majority of them are visual learners, and they love the idea of pictures, videos, so anything they can watch, right? And especially if you bring your personal photo and if you share some personal moments with them, they will be extremely grateful and they will be extremely active while trying to guess what was going on when the photo was taken. So visuals rule with modern teenagers. And of course, this activity can boost your students' critical thinking, yeah, because actually they have to, looking at the picture, they have to presume, okay, what happened before? Why do we have all that mess in the hall? Paper snowballs, okay, why are they there? So there can be a lot of questions, yeah, in their heads, and well, it's all about the development of their critical thinking. Why not? Well, actually, that's it for today. We've had a look at 4 activities, and now I will see whether you were attentive. So, the first activity I was talking about is called vocabulary connections. Exactly. It's when we write the words on the board, right? And we ask students, to choose two random words and to make up a sentence with them, demonstrating the connection between them. Well done, well done. A lot of connections in the chat box. Well, the second idea is called, what kind of revision? Board game. Revision, exactly. So remember that Grandma and Lexi's revision can be fun. Prepare that board game. Yeah, it can take some time, I know, but believe me, your students will remember that lesson forever, and they will boast to everyone they meet that day that their English lesson was unbelievable because they were playing the board game. Well, activity number 3 was called end of the year test. Yeah, right. Reuse the tests, and use your time wisely. Yeah, and spend the time you have, with your family, or reading, or doing something pleasant. And the last one, what a photo, exactly. So not always it's important to do the exercises, to revise grammar and vocab. We can bring some visuals to the classroom and to revise what we want, to be revised with the help of photos, pictures, and any other visuals we can find. Okay, actually that's it for today. Thank you for being with me. I hope you find the activities interesting, and I hope that you will use these ideas.